massive explosions in Venezuela right now. And as we know, US is involved in that and markets will react to this. So probably all of us, we are not ready for what is to come next if this starts evolving further. And unfortunately, we might see Bitcoin dropping further down. But if the markets don't react to this and are not volatile, I expect 2026 to be very bullish, not only for Bitcoin and crypto, but also for precious metals and silver in particular. And if you're part of my Discord, you would see that we entered on silver recently. So I want to make a video on this, why I think silver would be one of the most bullish assets to hold for 2026. Because as we can see, it is not going to $100 slowly. It is not going to stair step its way higher. It's not going to give everyone time to get comfortable. If silver's move plays out the way the data is signaling right now, silver can go to hundreds very quickly, very fast. And something very dramatic is coming, and it's not going to be incremental, I can tell you for sure. So first of all, we can see that silver has been surging aggressively, reaching to $80, the low $80, $83 very quickly, then crashed to 70 in 24 hours and immediately snapped back to the mid 70s to 80s again. No confirmation phase, just straight up. And this kind of behavior is not happening in normal markets, in normal market conditions. It happens when markets have entered a new regime, a new structure. Mainstream media has been covering silver and is focusing mainly on the drops. They make the 10% drops sound very dramatic, but they're ignoring the fact that silver has already been exploding for weeks, for months. And that's classic behavior that we see, and probably now with the news we would see again some headlines which would probably shake out retail investors to sell Bitcoin and create that panic mode again. The key shift that people are missing here is that silver did not move because of the headline. It did not start because of retail hype, but it started because of a relative performance breakout. Silver broke out decisively against gold after underperforming it for years. And if we can see on this chart here, we can see that gold versus silver ratio has been bullish for years. Gold has been dominant, silver has been lagging behind. But this same signal that we are seeing right now, if you look at this chart, you can see the sharp drop because now this ratio is being flipped. Silver is outperforming gold. And this, we had the same signal in 1979 before the 1980 silver spike, and in 2010 before the 2011 silver blow off. And in these both cases, that's actually very visible on the chart, silver made multiple X gains in about 6 months. And our clock for this move started at mid-October, when China ban of silver export became known, and at that time silver was still in the mid-50s. So this move is young, it's not old, it's just evolving, developing right now. When we had that 10% crash just the other day, silver dropped 10% and it will continue to drop. Actually, we would see pullbacks. It dropped 10-15% and a lot of people thought, oh, this move must be over, this was it. That thinking belongs to the old silver behavior. In this new phase, in this new regime that I talked about at the start, pullbacks are very sharp, but recoveries are almost instant. And we saw that with silver. From $82, it dropped back to 70 and it went back up to $80 just in 24 hours. So if you sold the dip, if you thought that this is a good selling opportunity, you are already behind of everyone. And that's why I kept saying on Discord and I kept saying to people I know, don't sell your silver right now. Because now trading in and out becomes dangerous because of this pattern of sharp pullbacks and instant recoveries. And the problem isn't getting out of the market. The problem is getting back in when it comes to silver and gold. So silver has been trapped in a 50-year range after commodities broke out a long time ago. We had copper breaking out, lead, energy, but silver didn't. And this tells us something very important, that silver wasn't cheap by accident. It was structurally mispriced. And when markets correct a long-term pricing error, which we saw in silver being suppressed for so long, they don't just move to, fair value. They overshoot. Copper went 4 times up in a new reality. Same happened to lead. And silver now is saying no more suppression. Silver is also following this path. And when you talk about price predictions, I personally see silver moving to hundreds. And this is not random. If you adjust silver's 1980s and 2011's highs for money supply growth, dollar debasement, lost purchasing power, silver should already be in the hundreds if we did that. And markets that realize that they've been wrong for decades don't correct politely. They overcorrect. They overshoot. So if silver's fair value is around $100, $150, History says that this value will be superseded and will be overshot well beyond that before stabilizing into a new range. So I personally see silver by the end of 2026 ranging between 150 and $200. And there are several factors for this. There is not only just one simple factor that is being underpriced for years. No, we have industrial demand, which matters a lot. We have supply deficit, which matters a lot. And a real driver, which is monetary stress. The global bond markets are breaking. And by the way, this also applies to Bitcoin. What I'm going to say for silver applies for gold, applies for Bitcoin, because these three are store of value assets. So the real driver here is monetary stress. The global bond market is breaking. Long dated government bonds have failed to recover for years. They remain weak despite rate hikes, and they are forcing central banks to quietly inject liquidity. So when confidence in government debt declines, fades, people ask a simple question: where do I park money safely? Stocks won't save you, bonds won't save you. That's when Bitcoin and gold and silver, they stop being investments and they start being money again. And I think personally that silver is the most explosive monetary metal for 2026. And Bitcoin on the other side is the new era, the digital currency, which again has a lot of potential, and crypto being very bullish in 2026. So both Bitcoin and silver are not entering a slow bull market. They are entering, in particular silver, this year, a repricing event. We already saw Bitcoin crashing from 125 to 85k, which was a great reset, and now we are starting to move up. But it's not about timing the top today. It's about understanding what phase we are in and what follows in the future, what phase we are entering. If you want comfort, you will be chasing. If you panic on pullbacks, you will miss it. When silver and Bitcoin start moving in 2026, they will not ask for permission or they will not wait for you. They will just skyrocket. So that's from me today. Thank you so much for watching.